Our very special guest this morning, Jordan Ames, is the founder of Red Letter Pursuit. Jordan, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. So great to have you here in the studio. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to and say hi to?
I'll just shout out to my wife and kids who are waking up, probably having breakfast right now, getting ready for school.
Yeah. Hey, Dad's on the radio, so turn it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Turn it up.
So before we talk about Red Letter Pursuit, you are a veteran of the Marine Corps Special Ops.
Yes,
How many
sir.
years were you in the Marine Corps?
I was in for 21 years.
See, I find you look so young. I can't imagine that you did anything for 21 years.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
But you've been all over the world in your service, right?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Where all have you been?
Middle East, Europe, all over. Crazy thing, I have a son. One of my oldest sons has been in the Marine Corps for 5 years. He's coming back from Japan soon. He's probably traveled more than I have.
Isn't that interesting?
All over the world as far as the breadth of experience he's had. Pretty crazy.
Amazing. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you. Tell us about Red Letter Pursuit. What are you guys doing?
Sure. So Red Letter Pursuit is a mission that I was asked to manage about 2 years ago that we just recently renamed or named Red Letter Pursuit. I was asked by an organization who has since dissolved just because they were looking at other initiatives to start up and that wasn't happening. And so they decided to dissolve, and I took this on to make sure that it would continue. The mission was growing. And so what it is counter human trafficking in Uganda along the border with Kenya.
Interesting. And tell us a little bit about the situation there so we can know what sort of things you're encountering with your ministry.
So it's very impoverished area. I mean, Uganda is probably one of the more impoverished countries in Africa, and Eastern Uganda is one of the most impoverished areas of Uganda. And so the trafficking looks different to the trafficker, right? So some are trying to get money. That's the biggest thing, right? Because it's impoverished. And they're luring usually adolescents by promise of free education or some job, a good paying job. And they try to say, yeah, we can get you over across the border. And so these kids, these 14, 15, 16-year-olds are just trusting that because what could be worse than their situation right now?
Right.
And sometimes the parents are like, yeah, go ahead. This sounds like a great opportunity. And that seems ridiculous to us because we know what scams look like. But to them, they're in some rural village and they're like, this is a great opportunity. So we actually have a foot patrol that sits on a porous route on the border, and they look for those suspicious crossings. So a young adolescent walking by themselves, that's not like they're supposed to have papers in hand. And there's things that our foot patrol has been trained to notice that they can interdict. And if there's no suspect involved, they can just interdict, ask some questions. If things don't seem right, they can get the police involved, and then our director takes care of the victim, gets them back to the family, and then we give them the opportunity to enroll in vocational training. That way we try to solve the poverty problem, because if we just say, no, this is a bad thing, go back home, well, then again, they're just trusting us. So they're like, well, this other guy had a much better opportunity for me, and you're just saying that's bad.
Yeah.
So we're trying to and that's the funding. That's really the large portion of the funding is going towards the vocational training programs that we support.
Interesting. So how many foot patrol do you have?
We have one right now.
Okay.
Again, because since the funding is, we have about 12% of our funding that we send over there to pay for the salaries of the foot patrol or our director and a law enforcement liaison officer that keeps us tied in with the police. That is about 12%, and the logistics of the rescue is about 12% of our funding. The other 88% of funding goes towards all the vocational training and trying to help them get stood up with getting on their feet with their trade once they graduate.
Right.
So whenever we would like to expand and have another foot patrol, it would be easy. We could easily send over another $1,000 and have several more foot patrols, but then the amount of rescues, we can't fund that many into
the vocational training.
That's
So
a long-term goal.
What are the vocational opportunities like in Eastern Uganda? What are some of the trades that these adolescents are learning?
Yeah, the ones that we have 70, I think, or no, we have 83 currently enrolled in vocational
Amazing.
training.
Yeah.
We've since January 2024, we've graduated 79, I want to say now, and we've rescued a total of a little over 264
Amazing.
since January 2026 or 2024.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so some of the vocational training, a lot of the females like to get into the hairdressing or tailoring. And then the males, there's like car mechanic. There's also motorcycle mechanic. There's a lot of like the small 100cc, 150cc type motorcycles. So that's a big draw is a motorcycle mechanic. And then like woodworking, carpentry and stuff.
How can our listeners pray for you? How can they support you?
But yeah, so any gift of any amount is huge right now. The US dollar goes so far over there. We pay our director $220 a month, and he does very, very well per capita in that area.
Yeah.
But they can go to our website, www.redletterpursuit.org. Our project is not its own 501c3. It falls under an organization called Tying Vines, which is a phenomenal organization, faith-based. They have over 30 projects throughout the world, not just counter human trafficking, but other humanitarian aid. And so your donation is to them, and that goes directly to our project.
Check it out online, redletterpursuit.org. Our very special guest is a Marine Special Operations Officer, retired. His name is Jordan Ames. He is the founder of Red Letter Pursuit. Jordan, great to have you here again. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Fred. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we've been asking our guests about their life verse. Could you share yours?
Yeah, so mine is really, it's like half of a verse. It's Hebrews 11:38. And the half that's my favorite, it says, and the world was not worthy of them. And it's referring to everybody listed in the Hebrews chapter 11, the heroes of faith chapter, we like to call it. And it's pretty much just sums up their faith and what they did for the kingdom. And it's like God speaking to them saying the world isn't worthy to have any of them. And that's my favorite verse. That's what I want to be said at my funeral. And that's what I want to instill in others.
That's amazing. Wow. Tell us about Red Letter Pursuit and what you guys are doing in Eastern Uganda.
Yeah. So Red Letter Pursuit is a counter human trafficking organization, mission really, in Eastern Uganda on the border with Kenya that mainly interdicts the trafficking of victims. We usually see adolescent ages. They're crossing the border into Kenya because they're told there's free education or there's work. Sometimes there's suspects involved. Since 2024, our efforts have led to arrests of 51 suspects and the rescue of over 264 victims.
Amazing.
And then we try and give those victims an opportunity for vocational training to help them earn an honest living in their home country.
That's amazing. You must have some great stories about how people's lives have changed through your rescue and vocational training. Is there any that come to mind that you could share?
I've received quite a bit of videos because I've asked our director over there, and our whole team is local national Ugandans. So Our director is a local pastor who we're able to identify, and he's an awesome leader. He's a connector. And so he's been able to send me over some testimonial videos. And it's great to hear how these adolescents, and some of them have families, some of them are young adults. There's a couple that have had kids and stuff. And they're just praising God for the freedom that they have to support their family, to be self-employed and not have to search somewhere else to try and feed their family.
Amazing. How can our listeners support you and pray for you?
Yeah, they can please pray for our vision. We are looking at, we want to find land to build a safe house. A safe house is very necessary because once our director reconnects the victims with their family, if there's a suspect involved, they need to come testify or there's no crime. And a lot of times because of whether it's shame or fear or guilt or anything, or maybe threats from the village or whatever the case, they don't want to come back and testify. So a safe house will provide them a safe and secure environment that we can take care of them and encourage them to testify. So that's in the future vision, and we're going to need a lot of financial support for that, and of course to sustain the mission. So we're asking for donations of any kind as well. And you can do that at redletterpursuit.org. You can find out more information and donate.
In addition to founding and running Red Letter Pursuit, you also are involved in leadership training, and I understand you recently wrote a book. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So the company is called Red Letter Leadership, and the book is actually called Red Letter Leadership, Leadership Lessons from the Life of Christ. And I teamed up with two other individuals, also military guys, one still active in the Army. And we wrote leadership lessons from every passage from Matthew 1 through John 21. Ended up being over 370 lessons. And we were committed that in Jesus's words, his example, his entire life, there are leadership lessons. The whole Bible is surrounded. The theme is relationships. It's God's relationship with us and our relationship with others. And we knew that in Jesus' life, there's packed full of leadership lessons. And so we wanted to find it. And so we really think it's arguably the most comprehensive leadership study on Jesus' life ever done. And so we were thrilled. We released it September 23rd. It's out on Amazon, sold on Amazon. And you can go to our landing page, which will also take you to Amazon, and you can read more about it. Landing page is redletterleadership.com/book.
Very cool. Congratulations on your book coming out.
Thank you so much.
It's been great to have you here. We want to encourage our listeners to check out redletterpursuit.org, an opportunity for you to help with the mission that's happening there in East Africa. Jordan, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. This was great. Thank you.